Today I'm wearing all red. I'm even wearing red shorts to celebrate Halloween, and I even have a red drink. It's because I'm drinking the blood of my enemies. So yeah, today we're going to be reacting to top 15 deaths. Sorry, I spit. Top 15 deaths caused by the paranormal. So yeah, let's get into it. Let's react to it.
Number 15. Our list about the top 15 deaths caused by the paranormal begins in October of 2009. On that day, Bobby and Sherilyn Jameson disappeared, including their 6-year-old daughter. In 2013, a hunter accidentally found their remains on Panala Mountain. Their bodies were lying side by side with faces down in the dirt. The results of the later autopsy are still inconclusive to this very day, and the mystery associated with this case is still not diminished. In fact, this family's disappearances and tragic deaths are still considered by many people to be one of the most bizarre paranormal murder mysteries. Prior to the disappearance, Sherilyn Jameson had claimed on several occasions that the spirits of long-dead family members lived in their home. And what's even more disturbing, their daughter Madison communicated frequently with some of the youngest spirits of this family. Bobby Jameson had talked with his pastor, who, it should be emphasized, suddenly moved out of the area and declined to speak to anyone about the case, about making special bullets and obtaining a satanic Bible that could be used to exorcise the house of the evil spirits. Are they responsible for this family?
I knew he was up to something because his ass, I was thinking in my mind, okay, what if instead of giving them a holy Bible, what if he gave them like a satanic Bible on purpose and then he left? Like, that's so messed up.
Family's tragic death? We'll never know for sure. Number 14. Robert Francis Bailey, George I. Mott, John Irving Bentley, Henry Thomas, and Mary Reeser are only some of the well-known.
I swear, this was so effing eerie. I was looking up this case, the woman who burned alive from the inside out, and I was looking up the date of her death, and it was like July something. It was the exact same day, and it was like the first time in the whole year I ever looked her up. It was the same day and the same year. No, the same month she died. It was so weird.
Who can be associated directly or indirectly with the so-called spontaneous human combustion paranormal cases. Most of these SHC cases are explained by using the popular Wicker theory. This theory states that once our body is being ignited, it will continue burning until the flame's initial.
If you're in Japan or Korea, if you're ever wondering what this flavor is, it's called fruit punch. I don't know if they have it in the US. Well, they do have it in the US. I meant to say, I don't know if they have it in the UK or Australia or Ireland, but they have this one. So, it's pretty good. Tons of red 40. But that's what we're on theme for. Let's get a splitting headache. Okay.
Source, such as flesh, fat, or muscle, is
I love chemicals.
Eliminated this way or another. For instance, in one of the most notorious cases, Henry Thomas literally burned to death while sitting in his chair watching TV. Only his skull remained, yet there were some claims that his death was probably caused by a
This girl is on fire. She's walking on fire. Okay, I'm sorry.
Wicker effect associated with a nearby heater. There's only one trivial problem with this theory. The rest of Thomas's home and furniture remained untouched by the fire. In addition, Thomas himself didn't even try to move from his chair while slowly burning to death. The fire quickly burned out this poor man completely, just as quickly as it had disappeared after killing him. Number 13. On February 2013, Alyssa Lam had been staying in the notorious LA Cecil Hotel in Los Angeles. She suddenly went missing for 3 weeks. In the matter of weeks, the hotel guests began
I'm sorry, I'm not even paying attention, because I heard the story so many times. Lisa Lam, we know, the girl died. She was found in the water tank. She was playing the elevator game. We heard about this like a million times.
Complaining about a strange taste in the water. Can you guess what they found in the water? Alyssa Lam was found dead and naked inside a hotel's water tank. According to the official autopsy report, her death was accident due to drowning. However, her blood was clear from any traces of.
Feels so good, she's an alien. Skies in the sky, never come down. Let's go, again and again. Gotcha, 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 find out.
Drugs or alcohol. The most troubling thing about her death is a striking similarity with a famous 2005 horror movie called The Dark Water. There are quite a few rumors about the unexplained deaths in Cecil Hotel. It turns out this was a popular hotel for suicide victims. Did one of them whisper something to a listener?
Hi guys, I'm back. Sorry, my iPhone storage cut out. I'm sorry.
Mystery surrounding a ghost hunting couple in Nevada. Yes, you heard that right. A pair of paranormal researchers had lost their lives under the mysterious circumstances. Deborah and Mark Constantino had a few appearances on the Travel Channel series called The Ghost Adventures, yet they were found dead with no acceptable explanation for their actions, which led to violent deaths. Later, it was determined that Deborah Constantino went missing before this tragic incident. It's very intriguing that the police were in a hurry to offer an official explanation that her husband had a problematic history of domestic violence. They also added that they were in the process of getting divorced. Nevertheless, there are so many people who believe that one of the couple's previous paranormal cases had to do with their tragedy. Again, there was no clear evidence to support this theory. Which one is more credible? We'll leave up to you to decide. Number 11. Charles Walton was an ordinary guy living in the small village in Warwickshire, England, yet his death was quite extraordinary. He was found murdered on Valentine's night, February 14th, 1945. The circumstances surrounding his death are at least to say mysterious. They're actually so strange and mysterious that to this very day, the inhabitants of the Quintons believe that phantom black dogs haunt the area as the notorious harbingers of death in this area. It is also believed that, soon after Walton's shocking murder, one of these black dogs was found next to a tree close to the murder scene. In addition, even the chief police investigator himself admitted that he encountered this notorious black dog while walking outside. The dog suddenly ran past him, and shortly afterwards he saw a local boy walking in his direction. He asked the boy if maybe he was looking for his dog. However, when he mentioned the dog's color, the boy suddenly turned a deathly pale and immediately fled in the opposite direction without a single word. Number 10. A couple in Talisay, Philippines approached the authorities and investigated.
That's some scary shit. You know what? The face of that DMON looks like that guy from Robot Chicken, doesn't it?
Investigators with the scary accusation that a paranormal creature was responsible for the death of their newborn child. What's even more scarier in this paranormal related death story is the fact that the kid's grandparents began noticing strange red marks scattered all over the floor of their house. They even tried to attribute this disturbing discovery to rats until they began finding bloodstains in the kitchen. As a result of one panicked phone call, the mother rushed home only to find her baby in the hard-to-describe situation. The child was later pronounced dead at the hospital. The family repeated on more than one occasion that a shape-shifting and paranormal creature is to blame for the tragic kid's death. This was a conclusion that even the skeptical neighbors had to reach after noticing blood on the roof. On the other side, as expected, the police refused to believe the couple's story about the paranormal involvement, yet they had to admit that they didn't have a clue what could be the cause of the kid's death. Number 9. In our next disturbing story about paranormal deaths, a 4-year-old boy was found dead in the Amityville apartment he used to share with his 6-year-old sister. The police received a 911 call and found the kid in the living room with visible wounds all over his body. The autopsy was performed promptly, but police couldn't find obvious signs of torture or trauma. What's even more interesting to point out is that no adults were home when the first police officers arrived at the spot. In addition, the police went silent on the simple fact who allegedly called 911. In case the word Amityville sounds so frightening and familiar to you, it was the same town where more than 40 years ago the Lutz family went through terrifying paranormal activity in their own home.
Don't worry, I didn't dig in my nose. I just scraped the top of my nose. It was itching.
Victoria's house was previously purchased from Ronald
I'm not
DeFeo
digging
Jr., who committed a horrible crime by shooting and killing 6 members of his own family in the same neighborhood where a 4-year-old boy was found dead. These tragic events inspired a series of novels and movies well known as the Amityville Horror. Number 8. In July of 2002, the dismembered torso of a woman was washed up in the San Francisco Bay. This tragic event took place approximately 2 months after the 9-month-old pregnant woman and her 5-year-old son had gone missing. This murder was especially gruesome because the woman's torso had her fetus cut out before it was eventually discarded in the water. As you might have expected, the numerous theories spread wildly. Many believe that this woman had been killed on satanic holy days as a part of the ritual killings by a devil-worshipping cult. Of course, that disturbing theory couldn't be supported by the substantial evidences, but also neither completely discarded as well. Number 7. In June 1999, the dead body of Ricky McCormick was located in the rural area outside St. Louis with an
All that scary shit be happening in 1999. The creepypastas.
unclear
2008 too, a lot of creepy shit happened that year too. Jeff the Killer, Smile Dog, Slenderman.
cause of death. A violent cause of death was considered, although McCormick had a previous medical record of chronic lung and heart issues. Therefore, the natural causes of death just couldn't be excluded. This 41-year-old high school dropout was quickly written off as an unsolved police case statistic, yet the 2 handwritten notes were discovered in McCormick's pockets. It turns out that these docs were actually the most intriguing part of the mystery itself. Decoding them became one of the top priority cases for the FBI unit in charge for trying to break the Zodiac Killer's code. And what were the final conclusions? Well, we're still waiting for some. It's easy to say that this guy was probably nuts. However, his notes raised quite a few eyebrows among the police officers. In addition, according to the victim's family, he had actually a very low IQ. In other words, he was practically illiterate. Experts who had conducted a serious study.
Guys, I'll be making that twice. And Megan Thee Stallion, Mamushi, line distribution, Korean, Japanese, and English.
Of the mysterious paper just couldn't explain them. There were some theories about a specific pattern, which can be found in the numbers and letters as a clear indication of some other paranormal entity's presence. Maybe McCormick was only the messenger, but we still can't read his message. Number 6. In April 1991, Seattle police had to use
And why rose me, most high chose me. Tell me what can do for you. If you don't speak, boy, I don't sing, yeah. If you know that song, it's called 1991 by 𝐊-𝐏𝐿
to enter the apartment of Christopher Case. Why? Well, one of his friends was dead worried about him. The next thing you know, it turned out that the friend's concerns were justified and Case was eventually found dead in his bathtub. The death scene was unusual, at least to say, because Case was clothed and the bathtub was apparently empty. In addition, there were no signs of violence or break-in entrance. Therefore, the coroner had no other choice than to conclude that Case's death was very likely caused by acute myocarditis. In other words, his heart stopped. But we don't have a clue why. When police contacted Case's friend, they were informed that during his trip to San Francisco, Case met a mysterious woman who was claiming to be a witch with strong romantic feelings for him. Very soon, he returned home. The man claimed that unexplainable and unseen forces began tormenting him by cutting his fingers and other similar unpleasant things while he slept. As a direct result, he began feeling unsafe in his own apartment. Of course, no evidences were ever found to support Case's mysterious stories. It's reasonable to believe that you might have assumed the 4 guys suffered from some sort of deadly mental breakdown. However, that doesn't change the simple fact that the victim was, by all accounts, a respectably healthy 35-year-old guy who didn't smoke or drink, not to mention drugs. These also include no history of previous heart troubles. How do you explain this? What happened to this witch in love, who obviously just couldn't accept no for an answer? Number 5. The famous Brothers Grimm's version of Snow White tells a well-known story about the evil queen, who's being forced to dance in her red-hot shoes until she eventually drops dead. Yet, are paranormal death...
Off with your head. Dance, dance till you're dead. I'm sorry.
Case number 5 gave a completely new meaning to this fictional story. It turns out that not only fictional characters are the ones to die because of restless dancing. The quiet and peaceful city of Strasbourg became the victim of a sudden and unexplainable epidemic of compulsive dancing on a mass scale during the summer of 1518. These locals were obviously fueled by supernatural beliefs. However, this doesn't change the fact of the deadly dancing plague in 1518, which affected more than 400 people. All of these people just couldn't resist the mysterious and overwhelming desire to dance restlessly, until some of them died as a result of complete exhaustion. As you might have guessed, this legendary story sparked quite a few theories about the evil spirits, who wanted to punish the city in the worst possible way. Why? We still don't know. Number 4. Here's a story about the village, which was living in fear of the notorious widow ghost, who's to be blamed for deaths of at least dozens of men. Desperate locals had to hire a professional spirit medium to pay a visit to the village of Ta Xuang near Bangkok in order to investigate the mysterious death of perfectly strong and healthy men. He eventually reached the conclusion that they were all victims of the terrifying widow ghost, who is an extremely vengeful spirit in a constant search for more blood. In addition, he warned that all homes face risks with a higher chance of a deadly visit from this angry spirit. His solution was to fight the killing ghosts, which involved hanging out a red shirt in front of the home. This is a gesture, which is believed to repel evil. The widow ghost made the villagers turn their village into a place of countless red shirts outside their homes for ghost protection. On the other side, the authorities were desperate to prove that the surprising and choking number of deaths could be associated with the political turmoil in this part of the world. However, the people weren't convinced at all. Almost all of the men who died did not manifest any sign of sickness. Additionally, they were all perfectly fine. Do we need to mention that these victims weren't particularly politically active? Number 3. The number 3 position on our list is reserved.
Look at this down here. The Whiska Axe Murder House in Blood. Y'all are crazy.
For a story about a ghost hunter who stabs himself to death in the chest while staying for a night at an axe murderer's house, where 6 kids and 2 adults were murdered in 1912. Robert Lordson, a 37-year-old, stabbed himself to death for no obvious reason at the 𝐏-𝐶𝐄 Axe Murder House, which is a tourist attraction in 𝐏-𝐶𝐄, Iowa. Local authorities just could not find a credible motive to his actions. The Axe Murder House is where 8 victims were murdered in their sleep by an axe-wielding psychopathic killer who was never found or caught. According to the authorities, Lorson was conducting a paranormal investigation when he suddenly stabbed himself with an unknown object. Number 2.
He pulled a Yuri from DDLC.
Story of the killing ghost is one that works against the convention of the friendly spirits who are incapable of harming those around them. This story has embroiled itself in the folklore and myths of Kentucky. It tells a story of a man called Carl Pruitt who strangled his wife and then killed himself because he was driven insane by the feeling of guilt. For the police, this was a clear case of murder and then a suicide. That's why they quickly closed the case, but our story didn't end there. As Pruitt was buried, people began noticing on
I'm trying to sing away the scaredness. This is how we do it.
His tombstone several links of chain forming a cross. As Pruitt's grave got its unusual markings, so did a reputation grow about it as a cursed place. One day, a group of local teenagers threw rocks at Pruitt's grave while trying to destroy it, or at least damage it. It's said that one boy, by the name of James Collins, succeeded in damaging the tombstone. Then he biked home with the other boys.
That is some stupid shit to do. Oh, yeah, that bitch. You know what? You deserve the shit. You deserve that shit. You know that shit was gonna happen. You destroy some cursed ass grave. Bitch, are you dumb? Is you dumb? Is you slow? Because I think so. Let's see what happened.
But suddenly his bike picked up speed with no reason, and then he was killed in a fatal bike accident. What was his cause of death? Officially, his bike chain had become entangled around the boy's neck, killing him instantly as a direct consequence.
What?
The boy's mother was so
What type of Final Destination ass shit is that? But that's what you get. Because you was destroying this man's grave. And you thought no shit was gonna happen. And you know that shit was cursed.
So devastated that she tried to destroy the tombstone. The very next day she was found hung, according to the legend, by some material that was used to make chains. A couple of police officers visited the tombstone and made a few pictures. Afterward, they were allegedly followed and chased by some bright light that caused their car to crash. One of these officers was fatally wounded. Finally, one desperate man, who claimed that this was a ridiculous legend, took a sledgehammer and smashed the tombstone to pieces. However, when the locals went to investigate and look for that man, they found him hanged by a chain link fence, obviously strangled. Number 1. This video footage of a scary doll has intrigued paranormal enthusiasts all over the world. Why? It reportedly caused one British woman to suffer a fatal heart attack. Paranormal investigator Jane Harris, located in Shrewsbury, Shropshire, said she got quite a few messages from numerous people describing severe chest pains, nausea, and devastating headaches after viewing photos or pictures of this notorious doll, Peggy, which is believed to be possessed with an extremely evil spirit. Some reported strange flashing visions and overwhelming unexplainable feelings of anxiety associated with it. One thing is certain, we certainly don't want Peggy to make friends with Annabelle, do we? Got an idea for a top 15?
Okay, thank you guys for reacting to my reaction to top 15 deaths caused by the paranormal. Okay, thank you guys for watching. I wanted to say I'm a hot Cheeto girl because I be eating hot Cheetos like every day. I crave it like almost every day. It's like a drug to me. Oh, sorry, I can't say that. It's like a drug to me. Hot Cheetos, which, oh my god. And those crunchy curlers, crunchy curlers for me like that. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. Thank you for enjoying my content. And yeah, bye guys. Have a good day. 안녕하세요. 안녕.